Hi guys, and welcome back to World of Tanks. And yeah, a bit of an odd one, this one. It's just paused at the minute, the video in the background. This was my first take on the Deathstalker review. And it basically devolved, I didn't even get to review anything, I don't think, but it just devolved into a bit of a rant for a few minutes about reskins in general, and a little bit about this tank. And I wasn't sure what to do, whether to use the review or whatever, so I thought that I'd upload it as a separate video because hopefully it will entertain you, it might make you laugh, and I would like to think that I at least raise a couple of good points as well. So yeah, that's what this is. I've left it unedited. There are some bits where I do mention editing and maybe cutting bits out and whatever, but yeah, it's just fully unedited. This is just it, basically, just me going on a bit of a rant about it for a few minutes, but also, you know, well, just listen anyway. I hope you enjoy. Hi guys, and welcome back to World of Tanks, and today I'm going to be taking a look at the 46 pattern KR. Oh, sorry, wait a minute. Sorry, the Deathstalker 46 pattern. Yeah, basically. Now I've had to think a lot about this review, and not because it's a difficult review as such, but because this is another reskin, and I didn't want to spend my entire time bitching and moaning about the fact that it's another reskin. I know it's a reskin, you guys know it's a reskin, everybody knows it's a reskin. Wargaming, if they don't know it's a reskin, then they're just kidding themselves. And it doesn't seem to matter how many times everybody says, please stop doing all these bloody reskins, because you seem to be just killing the game off. They just keep doing them. Even a lot of the guys that I've spoken to on Twitter and stuff like that collect every premium tank that's coming out, even they've stopped buying these reskins. You know, I don't know who they're aiming them at or whatever, but I don't know. I may even just stop and just re-record. I don't know yet. We'll have to wait and see how this goes. But anyway, in one respect, you see, the thing with the 46 pattern KR was that it wasn't a bad tank. It really wasn't. It didn't excel really in any particular way, apart, you know, it was good on ridge lines, and it didn't really excel anywhere. But then again, you know, it was just a nice tank. It was an alright tank, and it did okay. It was crap in tier 10, like the Pershing is, because the pen is so lackluster. But it was an alright tank, but it was just ugly. You know, a lot of people thought the paint job on it was ugly, so you know, this comes out and it's got a nicer skin on it than the Career, in my opinion anyway. You know, you might disagree, but I mean, it is just, you know, changing two stats and giving it a new skin does not a new tank make Wargaming, and that's essentially what they've done. So it's not quite a straight reskin of the Career. They have changed a couple of stats, a bit like with the Panzer IV, the Crafter Panzer IV. I mean, in that case, I did say, you know, a straight reskin and selling it cheap as any, you know, really cheap with the crew would have been sufficient, would have been preferable, and would have been enough. And this again, it kind of just, I don't know. And I think the reason I get so frustrated about it all, and I know this is supposed to be a review of this tank, and this is what I'm on about, I might just re-record this or turn this into something else. The reason I get so damned frustrated with all these reskins, because people have asked me why do I let it bother me? Just, if I don't like it, don't buy it. And I do see that point, but the reason I get so frustrated is because I genuinely think that this is a great game. It is. It's free. I mean, it is genuinely free. If you don't want to pay anything into this game, you really don't have to. It'll take you longer to grind stuff out, but you don't have to do it. So, you know, it is genuinely free to play. You can play it without putting any money into it whatsoever. More so on PlayStation, because you don't even need PlayStation Plus, which unfortunately you do need Xbox Live Gold on Xbox. And you know, the fact that they just keep, you know, PC have just had some new tank lines and whatever, and I know obviously we'll get them at some point and we do need to catch up, but And, you know, some of the tanks we've had in game recently are ones that they've had on PC that we're sort of trying to catch up on. They might have had it for a while on PC and we're now catching up with it. But then why do something like this? Why? And there are just literally a couple of small stat changes. It's got a slightly better rate of fire at 8.3 as opposed to 7.4. But it's got a smaller engine, 704 as opposed to about 810, which gives it a lower power to weight ratio of 1757 as opposed to 18 point something 6-ish, 4-ish, something like that. I've only just had a look. There are some other stats as well. I mean, one of the things it claims that it's really good at firing on the move, which it is kind of good at firing on the move. It's got on the move accuracy of 0.52, but the career is better at 0.5. Go figure. And it's got, you know, obviously, like I said, that smaller engine, and it's got less traverse on the hull. Again, bizarre, weird, odd changes. I don't see the logic in those changes apart from saying, oh yes, but it's different because we changed these stats. Well, who gives a shit? It's the same tank. You know, you can change a couple of stats like that and try and fool yourself. Or you could actually, yeah, and do you know what? I am getting quite annoyed now. You know, or you can actually do something different. Or here's an idea: change stats that need changing on the damn tank. If you compared the pen on this just to the pen on the premiums we've been seeing recently, it could be argued very strongly that 192mm would or should be a premium match or a preferential matchmaking tank. You know, this tier 8 shouldn't see higher than tier 9, and you could argue that just based on the premiums that we've been seeing recently. I mean, STA2 for example, I mean, I know that's not a recent premium, don't get me wrong on that, I know that's not a recent premium, but that's a tier 8 preferential matchmaking and it's got 212 pen. The Liberté preferential tier 8 preferential matchmaking around 212 pen and a similar rate of fire to this. You know, and some of the other stuff we've been seeing, you know, 223 pen, 220 pen, 210 pen. You know, even the King Dragon got its pen buffed from 190, which was only 2 less than this, or 191 or whatever it was, to 200. And some people say, well, 200 is still a bit crap when you're going up against tier 10s, and I would kind of have to agree. But this, again, it just kind of, in a way, it kind of highlights all this power creep we've been seeing recently, of these new premiums coming in with this higher pen, and it's been leaving some of the tech tree tanks and some of the older premiums way behind in the dust when it, you know, when it comes to sort of pen and what have you, and especially with the fact that then, coupled with that, over the last year or whatever, various tanks, when they've been upgraded to HD models and what have you, have had small armor buffs because they've been upgraded to an HD model, collision models and armor, you know, things have changed, so there's been little small armor buffs here and there. Then they did that, you know, updates where some things got some, you know, pretty hefty armor buffs, like the mouse got 20mm or whatever added to the front of its turret. Some of the Japanese super heavies got buffed ridiculously. Yes, I know, it should never have happened. Even PC admitted that was a mistake when they did it and put it right. You know, we still get it. So, you know, like, when you look at tech tree tanks like the Pershing with 190 pen that has to see tier 10 regularly, you just feel sorry for anybody having to do that grind. I'm doing that grind. I feel sorry for myself. So, yeah, 192 pen, and it's got C tier 10. Like I say, you could argue that that should have preferential matchmaking, but it doesn't. So why didn't they just buff the pen? Why didn't they take the opportunity? Like, we're introducing this, you know, this other reskin. It's the same as the career. We could either introduce it as a reskin and do it really, really cheap. You know, sort of introduce it nice and cheap so people who enjoyed the career or whatever, the career, can get a tank that doesn't look like somebody's puked all over it. And, you know, we could buff its pen and use that opportunity to introduce or increase a pen buff on the career. Or, you know, maybe even, you know, a pen buff on the very much needed buffing Pershing, because it really does need a pen buff on it. It's, you know, it's standard round. But no, they change a couple of stats that are just illogical and bizarre and just confuse me beyond belief why you would change those stats. I don't get it. I really don't get it. And yeah, this has just degraded into a bit of a rant. Because it is frustrating, and I do feel that it is driving people away from the game because they're just getting sick of it. There's people out there that really, they couldn't care less whether it's another reskin or not. They're going to play the game anyway. They probably don't buy that many premium tanks as it is, and they're really not bothered. There are other people out there, and these are the ones that Wargaming really want to be taken care of. And I'm not meaning this in any way, people who put money into the game are more deserving or better than people who don't, No, that's not what I'm saying. But it's a free-to-play game. It is supported by micro-purchases. If you keep pumping out reskin after reskin after reskin, the people who are buying these tanks and paying your wages, supporting your game, are going to bloody well stop, and a lot of them are already. Then where are you going to be? Because the people who don't give a shit about the reskins and what have you are generally, like I say, the people who probably aren't buying that many premium tanks anyway. So you're then going to have to do one of two things. You're going to have to really rethink the premiums that you're putting out, and I really urge you to do that now, Wargaming. Really rethink your sort of premium tank policy as it stands at the moment. Or you're going to have to do something to attract in a shitload of new players that are actually going to put money into the game. And, like I say, I'm not berating anybody. If you don't want to put money into the game, or you can't afford to, or whatever, that's fine, and I'm not berating anybody. I'm just looking at it as a sort of a business standpoint. That, you might be thinking, oh yeah, let's, new premium each week, they're going to sell loads. No, you're not. If you put out a premium that people actually want, that is different and new and unique, you will sell them. If you put them out at a more reasonable price, if you're going to insist on doing reskins, put the reskin out at a reasonable price, you will actually sell a few, and probably sell a few more. And that's just why I get so frustrated from it. It even, like I say, because I do like this game, I genuinely think it's a great game. It's come on, in certain aspects, it's come on leaps and bounds over the last couple of years that I've been playing it, and probably even more so for the people who've been playing it for longer. But in other respects, it just seems to be going backwards and downhill. And even from a business standpoint, from a business point of view, it just doesn't make sense. Let's just regurgitate a tank that we've already put out, that was overpriced before. Let's put it overpriced again and basically change nothing on it and expect people to pay money for it and be happy to do it. It's not going to happen. I'd be interested, actually. I really would be interested to be able to see the sales figures. Comparing them to something like the Guardian STG, which was a genuinely new tank to console, compared to some of these reskins we've been seeing recently, and see how the sales actually compare. And it's like, I mean, I'm not, I don't know, and this is just a guess, but I'm guessing that the newer, unique tanks sell a hell of a lot more than these bloody reskins, and probably bring in a lot more money. Things like the Chrysler K, the STG. I can't think of the last new and unique tank that we had in game apart from those. There was a premium, so it seems to have been that long. But yeah, I don't know. But yeah, that's why I get so frustrated, and that's why I get so fed up with these reskins. And I mean, what do you want me to say about this? It's like they've taken the Pattern Korea, which was essentially a slightly upgraded Pershing, and then downgraded some of the shit on it to make it essentially a Pershing. It's got the same engine size as the Pershing, but for some reason, even though it's got the same armour and everything else and the same gun, 2 tons lighter. So it's got a better power to weight ratio than the standard Pershing. I don't know, maybe that extra couple of feet of gun barrel is like immensely heavy, lined with lead and everything else that's dense on this planet to make up the 2 tons. So yeah, let's take off 2 feet of barrel length. That'll save us 2 tons. So yeah, I don't know, but essentially, I suppose in one respect you've got a reskinned Korea, Pattern KR, with a couple of slight changes. On the other hand, you could say you've just got a premium Pershing that's a little bit quicker, and that's it really. Armour layout, same as the Korea, same as the Pershing almost. And I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know whether to upload this as a separate just rant video, or or whether to say, do you know what, screw it, that's your review. It's a bloody pattern career. It's a cross between a pattern career and a Pershing. It sits right in the middle stats wise, and it's bloody expensive. There you go, review done. It's another shitty reskin. I really don't know. But anyway, if this does turn into the review, let's go to the gameplay and see how it handles. If it doesn't turn out to be the review, I'll have edited that bit out, and you'll have just probably heard me have a bit of a rant for, well, 14 minutes. So there you go. Anyway, whatever happens, I'll edit this accordingly. So take care of that, and I'll catch you next time. See you later.